Entire cities burnt to the ground. Businesses looted to the point of extinction. Even statues toppled and books burned. Black Lives Matter, the movement ironically started to preserve the sanctity of life, has claimed many metaphorical victims this year, but it's closing out the year with an attempt to claim real ones. The woke social justice push within the CDC's Independent Advisory Board is attempting to hijack the vaccination process for the coronavirus, killing potentially thousands, if not tens of thousands, in the name of social justice. We all know that we've taken, at times, perhaps unworthy sacrifices to prevent the spread of the coronavirus transmission. However, a pandemic is worth shutting down some things. It's worth adjusting for other things. But when we were willing to kill, at least at this time, 10 million jobs and countless small businesses in order to save grandma, one would expect that when we finally get the vaccine to protect us all from this pandemic, it would go first to grandma. No, says the supposed experts advising the CDC. Instead, they want to take a gamble that by their own calculation would increase the amount of deaths from 2 to 6.5% in order to divert vaccination priority away from the elderly and to frontline workers. We know that children and teenagers have a 16 times lower rate of dying from the coronavirus than millennials aged 18 to 29. Compare that to those seniors older than 85 who have more than a 600 times increased rate of death. In any sane society, we'd say, oh, if we're willing to shut down every small business in America, bankrupt us, and also instigate a crisis of drug addictions, suicidality, divorces, domestic violence. In order to save grandma would be the first one to get the vaccine. Instead, no, the elderly as a class are too white. According to the experts, remember the same ones who said that we shouldn't wear a mask back in March, and the same ones who say that protesting for BLM is part of a public health initiative, they're now trying to argue that the Trump administration should instead push the CDC to allocate to the more racially diverse, quote unquote, frontline workers. Some of these make sense. If you're delivering goods to a hospital, sure. But what about the teachers who don't want to show up to school? Who cares if they're diverse? If a 30-year-old teacher who will not die of the coronavirus is given a vaccine, even though she's not going to her work, over people who are working and living in nursing homes, is that woke? According to the left, it is. This is BLM's final act to close out 2020. And every amount of political pressure to oppose it and make sure that we actually save grandma now that we can is earned.